chapter solution. So today in the previous class we did some numericals. Today we will start the next topic, solubility. Solubility. Suppose if I am taking a solvent in the beaker, okay, some 100 ml of water I am taking in this beaker, okay. So to this I am going to add some salt or sugar, okay, salt or sugar I am going to add, okay. So what will happen? If I add 1 spoon, it will become soluble. If I add 2 spoons, it will become soluble. So at one point of time, what will happen? When I add, it will not dissolve. Okay. So how much maximum amount this water can dissolve? That maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved, that is called as solubility. So write down the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved, in a specific amount of solvent, it is called as solubility. Okay, so the solubility means what? How much solute can be dissolved in the particular amount of the solvent, that is called as solubility. So the solubility, it depends on few factors. The first one is it depends on temperature. The next one, it depends on pressure. The third one, it depends on the nature of the solvent. What type of solvent is used? It depends on the nature of the solvent. Okay. So we are going to study about solubility in detail. Okay. In that we are going to study about two cases. Okay, the first case is we are going to study about the solubility of solid in liquid. We are going to study about the solubility of solid in liquid. That means what? We are going to dissolve a solid in liquid. About that solubility we are going to study. Then we are going to study about the solubility of gas in liquid. We are going to study about the solubility of gas in liquid. So how we are going to dissolve solid in liquid and how we are going to dissolve gas in liquid. So after dissolving, how temperature is going to affect that, how pressure is going to affect that. That at all we are going to study. So first write down solubility of solid in a liquid. Solubility of solid in a liquid. So when you dissolve a solid in a liquid, what will happen? When you dissolve a solid in liquid, what will happen? The solid will dissolve in the liquid. Okay, it will be soluble in the liquid. Suppose if you dissolve salt in water, what will happen? Can you see the salt after that? No, it will dissolve. Okay, so write down, when you add a solute, when a solute is added to the solvent, when a solute is added to the solvent, okay, so what will happen? The solute will dissolve. The solute will dissolve. Suppose if you take water, first you will be having only water. After adding salt, what will happen? The salt concentration will increase. The water will start to taste salty. Yes or no? So when a solute is added to that solvent, the solute will dissolve, okay, and the concentration of the solute will increase. the concentration will increase in the solution. Okay, the concentration will increase in the solution. This process, so when you add a solute, the solute will dissolve and the concentration of the solute will increase. This process is called as dissolution. It is called as dissolution. Okay. Now, suppose if I take one beaker of water. Okay. In this water, I am having solute. Okay, solute particles are there. Okay. So the solute particles will be continuously moving. Okay. So when two solute particles collide with each other, what will happen? When they collide with each other, they will come out of the water surface. They will come out of the water surface in the form of a crystal. This process is called crystallization. The solute getting dissolved in the water, it is called dissolution. The solute coming out of the solvent, that is called as crystallization. Okay, so dissolution and crystallization are opposite. Okay, so what is crystallization? Solute particles will collide with each other. Solute particles will collide with each other and they will separate out. And they will separate out of the solution. They will separate out of the solution. This process is called as crystallization. It is called as crystallization. So understood what is dissolution and crystallization. Okay. So at a particular stage, what is dissolution? Solute entering into the solvent is dissolution. Solute coming out of the solvent is crystallization. So if the dissolution speed is equal to the crystallization speed, that is the number of solute dissolving is equal to the number of solute coming out. If this both are equal, then that stage is called as dynamic equilibrium. What it is called? Dynamic equilibrium. So write down. When the rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of crystallization. The rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of crystallization. It is called dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic equilibrium. Okay. So first the solute will enter into the solvent. Solute will combine with the solvent and it will form what? Solution. This process, this forward process, it is called as dissolution. From the solution, if I get back the solvent and solute, it is called as crystallization. So the forward process is called dissolution, the reverse process is called crystallization. This arrow mark, it indicates equilibrium. It indicates dynamic equilibrium. Okay. Next one. Suppose if you are not able to dissolve any solute in the solvent, then that solution is called as saturated solution. Already it has dissolved the maximum amount. Okay, so if you add extra amount, it will not dissolve. So such type of solutions are called as saturated solution. Saturated solution means the solution in which no more solute can be dissolved. The solution in which no more solute can be dissolved, it is called as saturated solution. It's called as saturated solution. Okay, so then what will be unsaturated solution? Unsaturated solution means we can still add some solute in that. Okay, so the solution in which few more solute can be dissolved. Few more solute can be dissolved. It is called as unsaturated solution. It's called as unsaturated solution. So saturated means we cannot dissolve any solute. Okay, unsaturated means we can dissolve few more solute. That is called as unsaturated solution. So how will you convert a saturated solution to unsaturated solution? How will you convert a saturated solution to unsaturated solution? Suppose if a salt is not dissolving in water, how will you make it dissolve? We can add extra water. Okay, so a saturated solution can be converted into unsaturated solution by adding extra solvent. Or if I heat it, when you heat it, what will happen? The solute will dissolve by increasing the temperature. Increasing the temperature means what? By heating. So these are the two methods by which we can convert a saturated solution into unsaturated solution. Understood? So we have studied what is dissolution, what is crystallization, what is dynamic equilibrium, what is saturated solution, what is unsaturated solution, and how to convert a saturated solution into unsaturated solution. Now, if I dissolve this solid in liquid, okay, I am going to dissolve a solid in liquid. How temperature is going to affect that and how pressure is going to affect that I am going to see. Okay, so the first one is effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. This effect of temperature we are going to study for solid in liquid. Okay, for gas in liquid also we will study one effect of temperature. So in the question you have to see what they are asking. Whether they are asking effect of temperature for solid in liquid or gas in liquid, that you have to see carefully. Okay, so I told you, if a solid is not dissolving in a liquid, what we should do? If you heat that, what will happen? The solid will dissolve. Yes or no? So when you increase the temperature, what is happening to the solubility? Solubility of the solid will increase. If you increase the temperature, more solid will be dissolved in the solution. Okay, so write down. If temperature increases, the solubility of what? Solid in liquid. Solubility of solid in liquid also increases. So what will happen if temperature decreases? Write down. If temperature decreases, solubility of solid in liquid also decreases. Right. So if temperature decreases, the solubility of solid in liquid also decreases. Solubility of solid in liquid also decreases. Temperature is increasing. Temperature is increasing means what? We are providing the heat. So the reaction in which heat is absorbed, that reaction is called as what reaction? Endothermic reaction. This you have already studied in lower class. What is endothermic reaction? What is exothermic reaction? So endothermic reaction means the solubility will increase. So for endothermic reaction, solubility increases. Solubility increases. Endothermic reaction means the heat change, delta H. Heat change we would say. What is delta H? Heat change. Heat change is greater than 0. That means heat is increasing. Okay. So for exothermic reaction, the solubility will decrease. So for the exothermic reaction, solubility decreases. So delta H will be less than 0 for exothermic reactions. Okay, so the next one is effect of pressure. Effect of pressure. So this effect of pressure we are going to study for solid and liquid. Have that in your mind. So pressure will not have any effect on solid in liquid solubility. Okay. So pressure will not affect the solubility of the solid in liquid. So pressure does not have any effect. Pressure does not have any effect on the solubility of solid in liquid. Clear? Understood? So the next one we are going to study the solubility of gas in liquid. Solubility of gas in liquid. So solubility of gas in liquid is very, very important. Okay. So only if the gas is soluble in liquid, for example, only if the oxygen gas is soluble in water, all the aquatic organisms will be able to breathe. Okay. How fishes and all is breathing? Because it is breathing the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. Okay, so the oxygen dissolved in water. The oxygen dissolved in water, it forms the basis of all the aquatic life. It forms the basis of all the aquatic life. Okay, and other examples in your soda water, okay, soft drinks and all. What is happening? We have dissolved gases in liquid. Okay, we have dissolved gases in liquid. Clear? So first, suppose if I take a container like this. Okay, I am taking a container like this. Okay, here I am taking some water or any solvent. Here some gas particles are there. Here I am fixing a piston. I am fixing a piston. Now when I increase the pressure, what will happen? This gas will dissolve in this liquid. Yes or no? So when I increase the pressure, what is happening when I increase the pressure? When I increase the pressure, the solubility is increasing. Okay, so the first one we are going to study is effect of pressure. Effect of pressure. So what is that effect of pressure? If the pressure increases, when you increase the pressure, the solubility of the gas in liquid also increases. The solubility of gas in liquid also increases. Understood? Clear? When you decrease the pressure, what will happen? Suppose if I take one Pepsi bottle. In Pepsi bottle, what is happening? In what is there? The carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in the Pepsi. Yes or no? It is dissolved with pressure. So when I open the bottle, what is happening? When I open the bottle, the pressure is reduced, yes or no? So when the pressure is decreasing, what is happening? The gas which is dissolved is coming out, yes or no? So when I reduce the pressure or when I release the pressure, what is happening? The solubility of the gas is decreasing. All the gases which are soluble, they are coming outside when I decrease the pressure. Okay. So when pressure decreases, the solubility of gas in liquid also decreases. Solubility of gas in liquid also decreases. Here we are studying about gas in liquid. Here we studied about solid in liquid. In solid in liquid, pressure is not having any effect, but in gas in liquid, pressure is having effect. Okay, understood? Now, there was one scientist called Henry. This scientist only, he gave the law. He gave one law. He gave the relationship between the pressure and the solubility. What he did? He gave the relation between the pressure of the gas and solubility of the gas. So Henry, he gave the relation between the pressure and solubility of a gas. Pressure and solubility of a gas. This relation, it is called as Henry's law. What it is called as? Henry's law. So what is this Henry's law? They may ask in the exam. So Henry's law states that the solubility of gas in liquid, the solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to so solubility. What he did, he gave the relationship between solubility and pressure. So solubility will be directly proportional to the partial pressure. Okay. So if I increase the pressure, solubility will increase. If I decrease the pressure, solubility will decrease. So they are directly proportional. It will be directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. Partial pressure of the gas. Okay. So I can express it. Okay, solubility will be directly proportional to pressure, means I will put capital P. Partial pressure means I should put small p. Okay, so solubility is directly proportional to partial pressure. Now another scientist came. His name is Dalton. Okay, this Dalton, what he did, he modified this Henry's law. What he did? He modified the Henry's law. What Henry told? Solubility is directly proportional to partial pressure. Dalton said mole fraction is directly proportional to partial pressure. So what was Dalton's law? So Dalton, he modified Henry's law and he gave one law called as Dalton's law. So what is Dalton's law? The mole fraction of the gas is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. Okay, so write down the mole fraction of the gas is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. Partial pressure of the gas. Mole fraction of the gas is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. Now this we can represent it like this. Okay. Now what they are telling, mole fraction is directly proportional to partial pressure. So partial pressure, the symbol is small p, I told you. It is directly proportional to mole fraction. Mole fraction symbol is small x. Okay, this already we studied in the first class. So to remove the proportionality sign, I should put equal to. So partial pressure is equal to, I am adding one constant kh into x. So this kh is called as Henry's law constant. What is this kh? It is called Henry's law constant. Okay. So this kh value, it depends on the nature of the gas. It depends on the nature of the gas. That means what? The value will be different for different gases. It will depend on the nature of the gas. Okay. So if the kh value is greater, then the solubility will be lesser. Okay, if the kh value is greater, okay, the solubility of the gas will be lower. Solubility is lower. Okay, understood? The next one is effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. So understood what is effect of pressure, what is Henry's law, what is Dalton's law, what is kh, Henry's law constant. Okay, so the next one is effect of temperature. Suppose if I have a beaker of water, in this water some gases are dissolved. When you heat it, what will happen? This gas will escape or it will be in the liquid? The gas will escape. So when I increase the temperature, what is happening to the solubility? Solubility is decreasing. So if temperature increases, the solubility of gas in liquid also decreases. The solubility of gas in liquid decreases. Okay, so if I increase the temperature, the solubility of gas will decrease. Okay, understood? So then for endothermic reaction means what? Endothermic reaction means the reaction which absorbs heat. Yes or no? So for an endothermic reaction, the solubility will decrease. The solubility will decrease. Understood? Clear? So for exothermic reaction, the solubility will increase. Okay. So in the first class of the solutions, we studied about the concentration. Okay. And today we studied about the topic solubility. So first topic concentration, it got over. The second topic solubility, that also got over. The next topic I will continue in the next class. The next topic is vapor pressure, that we will be studying in the next class. Okay, thank you.